Welcome back to the 30-day SQL series. I am Umi Asma and this is day 2 where we will dive into the fundamentals of SQL. Okay. So in the previous video, we have discussed what SQL is and how to install MySQL on your system. So today we are going a step further and understanding how SQL actually works. It's a basic structure, commands and how we interact with the database. So let's get started here. So, importance of data, foundation of all operation. Data is the foundation of all the operation. Without data, SQL is meaningless. All SQL operations like your select, insert, update, and delete are performed on data stored in the table. So, foundation of all the operation. Data is the foundation of all operations. So, data helps in decision making as well. So data stored in SQL database can be analyzed using queries to generate reports, summaries, and insights, helping businesses and organizations make informed decisions. Okay, then it supposes structured storage. So it helps you this SQL data in a structured format, tables with rows and columns, making it organized, efficient to search, and easy to maintain. Then we have a data integrity and accuracy. So SQL allows constraints like your primary keys, foreign keys, unique, not null. So that ensures the data is valid, accurate, and consistent. Okay. So this is the importance of data. Why data is important in SQL. We know that, right? So now let's move forward. Let us understand the Cur operation. So in the SQL, we have a Cur operation. To remember this thing, I'm giving you the Cur operation here. So we will be creating, will create the will create will we are gonna read it in the SQL query. Okay, we'll create the query, we'll read the query, we are gonna update the query, and we can delete the query. So these are the operations we are gonna perform in our SQL. All right. Now let us understand what a database. So here, let me explain you here. So see, for example, this is my columns and this is my rows. Okay, columns and rows. Okay. So for this, when we have a columns and rows, we call it a table, right? Then this entire table, it's called a database. So this is a simple explanation of a database. So what is database? It is used to store. It is used to store the data, the information in the organized manner. Okay, so in a row and columns. And you can retrieve the data efficiently. Whenever you want, you can take the data. Okay, in the language, effectively, SQL is the language used to interact with this data. So we are using the SQL to interact this data. So this is a database here. Okay. Now here, see, this is how the data looks like. It will be in the form of rows, columns, and the rows. So here I have a columns, four columns where the ID, name, mobile number, and email ID, and these are the rows. The data I have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the name, number, mobile number, and the email ID. I have it here. Okay, so the data will be in the form of a table. Okay. Now let us understand the types of database. So here we have five types of database. That is your relational database, NoSQL database, column database, key value database, and the graph database. We have it. So now what is the relational database? So I'll explain this relational database using this table. Okay. So see here in this table, uh, here this in the table here when you use this ID, name, mobile number, and the email ID. So we will be calling it as columns, right? So, but we can call it as fields as well. In our language, in SQL, you can call it as fields or you can call it as attributes. Okay, for the column. So there are two names you can use it for the columns in SQL. And here you see the rows. So for this rows, we can call it as records. All right. Now let's understand the relational database. So SQL database use a relational model to organize data. So see the data is organized into the tables with rows and the columns you see here, right? So this is called when the data is organized in the form of rows and the columns. This is called relational database. All right. So this is called relational database here. We have understood about the relational database. Okay. So when there is a relation of a model to organize data into tables and the rows, okay, with the rows and columns, that's called a relational database. NoSQL database, it is designed to handle large amount of data, large amount of unstructured data like your videos or images. So that is called a NoSQL data. Then we have a column database. In the column database, it stored data in the columns rather than the rows. Okay, rather than the rows, it stores the data in the column. So that's called a column database here. Okay. Then we have a key value database. So collection of keys and the values, making them well suited for cache and simple data storage needs. Okay. Then we have a graph database. So graph database are used to store and query graph structure data. We There will be of graph structure data such as your social network connection on recommendation systems. Okay, so here we have learned different types of database, that is relational, NoSQL database, column database, key value database, and graph database. So these are the fundamentals of SQL. So this is very important. So I'm starting from the basics to advanced. Okay, in the next video we will be learning about what is DBMS and its function. Okay, so that's it in today's video. Okay, so don't worry if you're new, we'll go slow and cover each part with the simple examples that you can try on your own system. So open up your MySQL workbench in the next class. Okay, so, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any video in this 30-day journey. So, bye bye. Take care. Thank you.